What's up, Rasmanites? I apologize in advance if you hear any background noise spikes. Our shower is in use and also there is lightning and thunder outside. But there's a particular reason why I didn't want to use the H390 for this video and use the Yeti to have a more relaxed video atmosphere. Mainly my Reds hat in use because I am here to talk about a baseball film. As a matter of fact, the most highly anticipated baseball film of all time, probably. 42, the Jackie Robinson story. Today, on the Razman's Reality. Is the movie adaptation of the real-life true story of Jackie Robinson, the Brooklyn Dodgers first baseman, who on April 15, 1947, became the first African American to break the color barrier and play Major League Baseball, thus eventually putting an end to the separate Negro leagues. Without going into too much detail, as Jackie's story is one that everybody needs to witness for themselves, the things I can say about this film are as follows. Number one, it's extremely historically accurate. As a baseball historian and someone that's dreamed all of his life about being an announcer in that booth, I can tell you that every piece of baseball history that you see in this film is 100% accurate. The inaccuracy, if there is any, is in your typical sports movie or true story fashion. They always have to have a little bit in it that might be a little bit embellished or not exactly 100% historically accurate, but any of that stuff is just there to make the movie more entertaining and enjoyable. Other than the true story aspects, the thing that really makes this stand out is the performances in the film. This has an amazing cast, which it would take far too much time to go through right now for a non-spoiler review. I will do it when I get the Blu-ray and go into detail about the film for sure, but in the meantime, just check the description box down below, as I will have a list of the IMDb cast list so you can see the amazing cast in this film. But the one performance or two performances, one for personal reasons that I'll get into in a second, but the one performance that I have to talk about is that of Harrison Ford as Mr. Dickey, the owner of the Brooklyn Dodgers. He is so amazing in this role. He changed his look, his demeanor, and his tone. You can barely tell that this is Han Solo or Indiana Jones in this film. It is just absolutely one of the most breathtaking performances I've ever seen. And if he doesn't win an Oscar next year for it, I am going to scream. Because the stigma of, an Oscar can't go to a sports film or an Oscar can't go to a comic book film was changed when, deservingly so, Heath Ledger won the Oscar for the Joker in 2010's The Dark Knight. Now, I'm not going to go into the whole thing about did his death help that Oscar win. It did or it didn't. We won't know because we weren't there when the Academy made the decision. But any true cinephile will tell you that he deserved that award for that portrayal. And Harrison Ford definitely deserves this award for this portrayal of Dickie. So, I was absolutely blown away by it. I'm having trouble remembering the name, so I'll put it in the overlay right now. But I was absolutely blown away as well by the young man who played Jackie Robinson. This is the first thing I've ever seen him in. And he obviously was given the role because he looks so much like Jackie. I mean, you put them side by side, you think you're in a time warp. So that's clearly why he was given the role. That being said, he does everything right in this film, from beginning to end, and really makes you feel for Jackie and really tugs at your heartstrings. He did an absolutely amazing job. And lastly, I want to highlight the surprise of the movie for me, and something personally that I marked out over. Alan Tudyk, of Joss Whedon fame himself for Firefly and Dollhouse, is in this film as a jerk Phillies manager who rides on Jackie for being black and does an amazing job. So that's all I'm really going to say, because I do have a ton to say about this film, but I like to wait until stuff comes out on Blu-ray when I see it in the cinema to do that, because I don't want to give it away. So when this comes out on Blu-ray, you can expect a full review. If you have any questions particularly, or things you want to know about the film, you can contact me on Facebook.com/RazMansReality or Twitter.com/RazMansReality. As always, all my social media is down below in the description box, and I will be more than happy to talk to you further about 42 and anything that I didn't cover here. Along with my social media, you can also find my full screen referral link if you'd like to try to become a full YouTube partner. And also, please don't forget to support the official sponsors of this program and channel, Handi Enterprises Inc., your assistive technology experts. I work directly for them, so if you help me out, you help them out. All their contact information is also down below in the description. Don't forget that I'm doing a Q&A. Those answers will be posted this Friday. So if you haven't asked a question or left feedback, make sure you do so. Annotation will be right there in the video right now. Dollhouse, speaking of Alan Tudyk, will definitely return next week. I'm sorry for the 3 weeks of delay. It's just been, there's always been something that has come up. At first it was the untimely passing of Paul Bear, and then the last 2 weeks last week it was me being under the weather, and then this week, of course, it was this review, because I saw it on $5 movie night here in town on Tuesday last night, April the 16th. Because I had to wait for $5 movie night, I was not able to do this review on April 15th, Jackie Robinson Day. As I mentioned earlier, April 15th, 1947 was the day that he did his Major League debut. I want to applaud Major League Baseball for that decision to make 42 the only baseball-wide retired number. It's a well-deserved honor, and one that the idea came from one of my personal heroes, Ohio native Ken Griffey Jr., formerly of the Seattle Mariners and the Cincinnati Reds, and a first ballot Hall of Famer himself. This is reality according to the Razman and Razman style. That's not just a catchphrase, but a way of life.